I feel like there's been so much going on in my personal life. I definitely am a sucker for a love story. This miso cauliflower, and I got so many requests for the recipe. What have you been doing? This is a complete tangent and a whole other conversation. Let's blend it up and see how it tastes. And I'm just still working through that. Good morning, my beautiful friends, and welcome to a day in my life. I thought that I would bring you along and vlog and show you some delicious food and give you some life updates today, because I feel like, first of all, there's a couple of recipes that you have been saying you really want the details on how to make it, and so I'm like, today's the day. I want to make them and show you exactly how I do it. And as well as that, I feel like there's been so much going on in my personal life behind the scenes, and I was like, I think it's time for a little bit of an update on what is happening and things like that. So yeah, that's why I thought it would be a good idea to hang out today. Also, I got my hair cut and toned yesterday and I'm so happy with it. I have been trying to go back to more of my natural color for the past probably, I guess, like year, maybe a little bit less than that. But I sort of made the decision I wanted to try working on the health of my hair, because I had been dyeing it blonde with a couple of other random rogue colors in there for like the better part of 15 years. And I felt like having a bit of a change, and I also was just like, I feel like it'll be better for the health of my hair if I stop bleaching it so much, and it definitely has done wonders for it in that way. And I'm actually really enjoying being brunette. I feel like it makes sense because like it is my natural color, so it makes sense that it suits me more. But it's so funny because when I look back on old videos on my YouTube channel, I almost feel like I look like I'm wearing a wig when I look at my blonde hair. Like I'm like, wow, I really loved that so much at the time, but now I just feel like, I guess, much more myself with brown hair and like a closer tone to my natural color. So yes, I had it toned yesterday, and I also had a bit of a cut, and I'm really happy with how it's looking. It is a beautiful winter's morning this morning, and I'm gonna make myself a quick smoothie to have for breakfast. I'm gonna go on a walk, and I am simply someone who cannot do any exercise in the morning without eating first, and people who can do that blow my mind, because I feel like I wake up and the first thing that I do most days is have breakfast. And if I get to like 10 a.m. when I'm waking up at like 6 or 7, I am genuinely like ravenous at that point. So I'm definitely an early morning breakfast girly, and therefore I always like to eat and have something to fuel me before doing any form of exercise. So that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I've been loving having smoothies lately. I'm definitely back and really enjoying it. So let's get into it, and I'll show you what I'm gonna put in it this morning. Okay, so I'm gonna start by adding in some frozen banana. It's like always the base to my smoothies. I'm also gonna add in some frozen raspberries. I've realized this morning that I have run out of any kind of plant-based milk. So I was gonna put cashew butter in already, but I am going to add in extra, because then I'll use water, and hopefully the cashew butter, the extra cashew butter, will make it nice and creamy. Going to add in, oh, that is a lot of water. I'm also adding in a tablespoon of chia seeds, as well as about a teaspoon of maca powder. Normally I like adding in a protein powder into my smoothies, but I only have a chocolate peanut butter one on hand at the moment, and I don't feel like it's gonna go super well with this. So I'm gonna go without protein powder today. And yeah, let's blend it up and see how it tastes. Today I wanted to introduce you to the natural deodorant that I've been using for the better part of this year, and I have been absolutely loving it. It is this one by Wild. It is such a beautiful natural deodorant. As you may already know, I definitely do have a preference towards using natural products, but at the same time I also play a lot of netball and get very sweaty, and for me, when I'm looking for a deodorant, I want something that is natural but also something that keeps me smelling good. And I try trialed using Wild for a few weeks and then made the complete switch over to using it all of the time, every day, and I love it so very much. Wild's natural deodorants contain no harsh chemicals, aluminium salts or parabens. They're gentle on the skin, they're really great for all skin types, and of course they are vegan and cruelty free. You can organize a really easy to use subscription service for the refills that refill into the deodorant, and you can do this so easily with Wild, where they just get delivered straight to your letterbox so that you can then refill. And said refills are made from organic bamboo and save 30 grams of plastic per refill. If you're looking to try out a natural deodorant, I definitely recommend checking out Wild. They ship worldwide, you can pay in your own currency, and at the moment you can also get a 20% discount using my code AmandaDux. It's available for a limited time only, so I'll leave all the details down in the description box if you would like to check them out. Boy, what have you been doing? Hey? What have you been doing today? Have you been relaxing? Okay, I just had my lovely mental health walk to start the day, which was so good. I've been really trying to hold myself accountable to doing so, but at the same time not putting too much pressure. I feel like I'm like at the moment really trying to find the balance between like, I've had a really hard year and I've gone through like, you know, with everything with my surgery and everything like that, I've gone through a lot, and I need to honor the fact that my mind and my body need rest and time to recover, but also trying to balance that with the fact that I do need to try and get myself into a routine, you know, for my well-being and making sure I'm leaving the house and getting some sunshine and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a balancing act at the moment, but I feel like at the moment I am making a little bit of progress, which feels good. I'll touch base on all of that later, but yeah, I'm proud of myself for getting out the door and going for a walk this morning, and it's such a beautiful winter's morning. There were so many people swimming. I'm a bit of a baby when it comes to the cold, so I feel like I don't swim that much in winter, but I really used to when I first moved up this way because the water was so warm compared to where I'm from. But anyway, I went past the bookshop and it happened to be open, which was great, and it was really excited. I first of all got a card because my friends are getting married this weekend and I wanted to find a really cute card, and I saw this like right at the front of the shop and was like, yes, please. So got that, which is wonderful. And then I also got myself a new book. Now, I feel like I've talked about reading a lot because I've been really trying to get into reading once again for my mental health and to reduce my screen time. And I really have found it quite difficult to get into a routine of it, to be honest. The one author that I really enjoy and that I can really stick to is Emily Henry. I feel like her books are the ones that make me want to, you know, wake up in the morning and read in bed before I get up for the day, or read before I go to sleep. And that is really good for me because I have been struggling to A, get out of bed and get motivated, and B, go to sleep at night. So I've been loving that. I have already read Happy Place, which I read a little while ago, and I've almost finished reading Book Lovers, which I might like even more than I liked Happy Place, and I really loved Happy Place. Anyway, I decided to get another book so that I have another one to look forward to, and I picked up Funny Story, which I'm really excited about. They had a few of her books that I hadn't read, but this one just sounded like something I was intrigued by straight away. So that's going to be my next read. I'm really excited. If you know any authors that you think are similar to Emily Henry that you think I would enjoy, I definitely am a sucker for a love story, so anything like that is good. But yeah, if you have any authors you recommend, I would love to hear them. Okay, I'm about to get into doing a little bit of work for the day. As some of you may know, I make YouTube videos and do Instagram for a living, but as well as that, I also have had a couple of other jobs doing like kind of like creative PA kind of work, little bits of editing, and helping out with collaborations and stuff like that for other content creators. I recently left one of those jobs, so that's just a little bit of a life update in that regard. And today I just need to do a little bit of admin. I need to re-edit a little bit of a reel that is for a brand for their approval. They have a couple of changes they want me to make, so I need to do that. I need to send some emails. Oh my goodness, Tiger, what are you doing? Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to go through my emails and get up to date on my emails and admin that I need to do for myself and the people I work for, as well as re-edit that reel. And yeah, then I'll be able to put the admin and the computer away for the day, which will be lovely. So in my recent What I Eat in a Week video, I shared that I made this like BLAT blat toasty with a smoky barbecue tofu as like the tofu bacon, and I got so many requests for the recipe, but truth be told, a lot of the time just freehand a lot of my cooking. I feel like over the years of like cooking a lot of food for my job, most of the time when I'm not consciously like creating a recipe, I am just like sort of just going for it and hoping for the best. And I guess that's how I learn as well. I literally got so many requests with how to make this and the exact measurements. So today I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna show you exactly how we make it, which I'm really excited because honestly, this is like one of my favorite meals at the moment anyway. So it's a great lunchtime for me as well. When I'm cooking, I'm most of the time having a sodali or a kombucha. I'm having this one today. I'm literally obsessed with these lemon flavored ones. They're so good. All right, let's get into cooking. Wow, this is truly my favorite thing at the moment. I decided to make like a bulk amount of the tofu, which I feel like is definitely the way to go about it, because then you can so easily make one of these breakfast or lunch sandwiches in like 5 minutes if you have the tofu prepped and ready to go. So that's what I did, and I'm going to be able to enjoy these sandwiches throughout the week, which is absolutely wonderful. It honestly looks and smells so good. I'm gonna leave the details of how I made the smoky crispy tofu in the description box. Keep in mind, I cooked it in the air fryer, but I think you could also oven bake it. You would just need to cook it for a little bit longer and also need to rotate so that it got nice and crispy and well cooked on both sides. This sandwich is literally the best ever. Oh my god. I'm just having a full moment right now. I just went into the Asian grocer, which is what I intended to like put my camera up and show you what I got at the Asian grocer. Not that it was a whole lot, but I was like, anyway, that's what I was planning to do right now. And as I started to film, I got a call. So this is just going completely off tangent because I was going to tell you all about this later this afternoon, but I just got a call from a real estate agent saying that we got approved for a rental that we applied for. This is like so random and so out of the blue because I haven't explained the situation, but essentially my boyfriend and I have to move next month. You know, we've only been in our current place for a year, but with rental prices going up and stuff like that, we made the decision that we were going to move. And a big part of that move was also finding like a kitchen that is really, really good for me to film in, just so it makes my work easier. This is a complete tangent and a whole other conversation, but my point is, my boyfriend and I were like, the best case scenario was going to be for us to move, like financially and just like lifestyle wise. That was going to be the best thing to do. And so I went and looked at this rental last week, and it's honestly the first one that we looked at, but I absolutely loved it, especially the kitchen. The kitchen was really like, okay, this would be really, really good for me, and like it would just make my work a lot easier, which would be great. It was a really nice place, and I was like, okay, yeah, definitely keen. But I just like, I guess the rental market is so tough. I wasn't like confident that we were going to get the first place that we applied for, because that hasn't happened to us before. Anyway, I literally just got a call saying that we've been approved for the place and we get the keys in a few weeks. And now I'm like, okay, we're literally moving in a few weeks, and I've sort of started decluttering things in my house, but you know, we now need to really get things moving, and I'm just like, I struggle to not get excited about things, and I was starting to get really excited about this place, and I was really worried that I was gonna like get disappointed and stuff like that. But yeah, we've been approved and it's gonna be our new home, and yep. I text my boyfriend, but he's at work and he's not replying to me. I'm like, I'm feeling extremely chaotic and excited right now. I don't know what to do with myself. I have this Asian food haul. Oh my God, let's focus on that because it's gonna be a whole lot easier. But my boyfriend and I are gonna be moving next month. I'm gonna do a moving vlog, I think. So, groceries. I went to the Asian grocer today because I'm going to show you tonight how I make my miso corn noodle soup, which I talk about and eat so much, like multiple times a week. And you guys brought it to my attention in my recent What I Eat in a Week video that I haven't actually shown exactly how I make it and the ingredients and everything like that. So that is what I'm gonna do tonight, which I'm really excited to do. Anyway, I needed to go and get some fried tofu because it's so amazing in noodle soup, and I highly, highly recommend this stuff if you are gonna make it. You can use just like regular tofu. You can also like freeze your tofu and then like defrost it and press all the water out of it, and you'll get a similar vibe. This is the easy and convenient way to do it. I also got some chili oil for my boyfriend because he loves chili oil, and I also really, really like chili oil as a food styling situation. So that's why I got that. And then I also decided to get another treat for my boyfriend. This is definitely not for me. This is vegan chicken. He loves like mock meat products, my boyfriend. I get a lot of questions about him actually and his veganism. He's been vegan for like 10 years, a year longer than me, and he loves to cook and he's amazing. And he's honestly taught me a lot about cooking, which I really, really appreciate. He really likes eating mock meat products, and I know that he always says that the mock meat products from the Asian grocers are really, really good. So I thought I'd just get him a little treaty while I was here, and I got him this vegan chicken, which I think he's gonna love. And I don't know what he'll do with it, but yeah, like I said, he's a very good cook, so he'll figure it out. I'm gonna go home, I think, and get into doing like a little bit of decluttering. Is that what I wanna do? I also need to film some reels. Maybe I'll film some reels that will actually like give me something major to focus on, because I feel like with decluttering I'm feeling so all over the place right now that I'm gonna end up trying to do like the whole house today, and that is not the vibe today. Got a month to pack up. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Okay, hello. It is the next day right now because yesterday ended up being such an overwhelming and exciting day. I ended up spending the rest of the afternoon organizing everything for moving, with like letting our current place know, organizing the payment of the bond, signing our contract and all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of immersed in that for the rest of the day with excitement, which is good. And I want to get into a bit more of a life update this afternoon, but before I do, I'm going to get into filming some reels while the lighting is good. One of my work goals at the moment is to try and be more active on Instagram and sharing really delicious vegan recipes, and today there's a couple that I really want to film to be able to share. One of them is for this miso tahini cauliflower, which I've been really enjoying, and another one is for just some pistachio butter stuffed dates, which I would have made in a What I Eat in a Week a couple of weeks ago because I've been enjoying them a lot as my sweet treat. So I thought it was time for me to share them on Instagram. I'm going to get into filming these reels now and hopefully they turn out beautifully. Okay, it has become seriously dark in our house this afternoon, but I just finished up filming the reels for this miso cauliflower as well as the pistachio dates chocolate thing. Actually, let's just double check. I've got no chocolate on my face because so many times I eat things like that, like sweet treats on camera, and then I film this whole clip talking to the camera and then watch it back and I'm like, oh wow, I've literally got a whole chocolate situation going on. This miso tahini cauliflower is so good. When you're watching this video, this recipe will either be live or almost be live on my Instagram. So my Instagram is always linked below if you want to check it out. So I wanted to do a little bit of a life update in today's video because I feel like I've personally felt all over the place with my YouTube channel for the entirety of 2024 and felt pretty all over the place in general in my life. And as I'm trying to like move forward and get out of this funk that I've been in for a decent chunk of time, I just feel like there are things to update on and I guess just like talk openly about that I guess have contributed to said funk essentially. So I guess the first couple of things to update you on I already have touched on in this video. The first one being that I have quit one of my jobs and finished up there, and the second one being that my boyfriend and I are going to be moving house next month, which we found that news out yesterday, so that's quite exciting right now. And I feel like this year in general has, and I've been pretty open about this so far, definitely been the hardest year of my life so far. I had my surgery at the beginning of the year in January, and it's something I think I didn't fully emotionally and physically prepare myself for, and the mental and physical recovery from that has been unlike anything that I had anticipated it being. And truly it's been a really confronting and vulnerable experience for me. I have been feeling really depressed, which is something that I have felt at different points in my life, but nothing as intensely as what I am feeling at the moment. And in general, it's just been, I guess the best way to put it is a very difficult recovery that I feel has impacted my outlook on so many different things in my life. And that's just something that I'm like navigating, and I feel like every day I'm like trying to navigate it, and some days are harder than others, and there are different things that I feel like really I'm still finding confronting in my recovery. But overall I'm really trying to have the perspective of like looking back to how I was in March this year, which was definitely like the lowest that I had ever felt in my life was in March, and I try and look back to then and try and compare that to now and think, okay, like I've made progress between then and now, and hopefully in time I will continue to feel better. I feel like for anyone that's had a major surgery, and especially anyone who has had a surgery similar to mine, which like involved my uterus and is quite invasive in that way, I feel like you would be able to understand, I guess, the feelings that can come up. And I think that like I really find myself hard to figure out sometimes, in the sense that like I'm a super sensitive person, but then I also think I'm a super strong person in other ways. And I think I went into the experience feeling a lot of strength and resilience and like I was going to be totally fine, but I told myself things like, I'll be out of hospital after one night, and then 3 nights later I was like still in hospital. And I think that like I wasn't fully prepared, which I guess I've already said, but I think that because of that, you know, I wasn't feeling much fear before my surgery, all those things. I think that all of that has just kind of come up afterwards, and I've realized how vulnerable it is. Like being a woman who's 30 years old and having quite an invasive surgery on my uterus actually is like quite a lot, and I'm just still working through that and still working through like the relationship that it has given me with my body, which in some ways has been really positive because I view my body so differently with like what it's been through, but in other ways it is confronting because my body does look different to how it did before that. Honestly, at the moment I feel like the life update has a lot to do with the fact that I don't really know fully what the update is, but that I'm just going through this phase in my life right now where I am kind of like figuring myself out a lot more and learning a lot more about myself and what I want to be doing and things like that. And you know, for me, a big part of that is like I'd kind of been on autopilot and overworking myself for a couple of years now, and I think a lot of that spark for, you know, sharing vegan recipes and things like that had dimmed a little bit. Like I love it so much, and really like my goal is to help the planet and the animals and to encourage people to eat more plants. And I think a lot of that sparkle that I had been dimmed just by feeling burnt out and things like that. And that's something I'm really trying to get back and create that spark again. And I guess that's why I talk about things like sharing recipes on Instagram, because I do really want to be trying to reach more people with the message that I'm trying to share. And so that's definitely a shift for me at the moment, and that's actually a part of the move that my boyfriend and I are having, because in total transparency, like the place we live in now, we're renting. We're not in a position to buy a home in any capacity. Honestly, like there is just no way that my boyfriend and I will ever be able to buy a property in the area that we live in. The prices of renting even are exorbitant right now, and then like the thought of trying to buy something is completely overwhelming, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that feeling. But yeah, essentially they like increased our rent in the home that we're in, and I just sort of said to my boyfriend, like, you know, if we're going to be paying this much in rent and we have to, I'd rather move and live in a place that has like a really nice kitchen with lots of natural light so that it is easier for me to film, because at the moment it gets dark in our kitchen quite a lot, and a lot of the time it's really difficult for me to film, and it does impact my workload and things like that and make it all more cramped into one time rather than spread out throughout the week. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really so grateful that my partner, who is like, I mean, I've gone on about him a lot on YouTube in terms of my recovery, because he truly has just been like the most supportive and amazing person, and I'm genuinely so lucky to get to love him and to feel his love as well. And he has just been so supportive with the fact of like, he knows it's a really tough time for me, and that I think that moving is going to be something really positive for me to be able to try and find that spark and things like that, because I do have a lot of things that I feel like I want to do, but for me at the moment, it's like this constant battle between like wanting to do things but having no motivation, and like in total transparency, wanting to stay in bed a lot of the time. So, you know, I'm currently trying to figure that out, currently trying to, you know, find my way back into an exercise routine, because I had a lot of time off exercise with my surgery and recovery, and that's something I'm trying to get back to, but my body feels really weak. That's a whole other story, which I might document in some capacity. But yeah, I'm just kind of figuring things out at the moment, doing my best to just take things day by day and be present and be grateful, but also trying to acknowledge the fact that I have gone through a really difficult time and traumatic experience, and like that is going to be playing on my mind as well. So a healthy balance of both things at the moment is the goal, acknowledging all feelings. But yeah, I really wanted to sit down and share this update just for the transparency of it all. I suppose I've always tried to be pretty transparent on YouTube with like what I'm going through and just where I'm at, because you know, the way that I'm feeling does impact my upload schedule and what type of videos I'm making and stuff like that. But lately, actually the past month or so, I feel like I've been getting into a good upload routine and really enjoying my videos, which is a really good feeling, because obviously it's my job and it's something I spend a lot of time doing, but I really want to be proud of the content I'm putting out and the recipes as well. But yeah, that is pretty much my life update. I appreciate you all so much for being here and supporting with me and bearing with me this past 6 months. And yeah, I'll catch up with you tonight when we're going to get into the kitchen. I'm going to show you how I make that delicious miso noodle soup. It's actually the perfect night for noodle soup tonight, which I feel like is something me and my boyfriend say at least a few times a week, because this is our go-to favorite meal that we love cooking for each other. We both make slightly different versions of this, but I'm going to show you my version tonight that I've been making on repeat for quite a while now. It is a creamy miso noodle soup with some green veg, some corn, and some puffed tofu. The noodles that we like to use in our noodle soups or our ramens are these ones. If you're in Australia, you can get these from the supermarket in the international food section. We find them to be the best in noodle soup or ramen, so definitely recommend those. I'm really excited to finally properly show you how I make this noodle soup, because I know I've been making it for so long and been meaning to properly document everything. So I'll show you how I make it, but I'm also going to leave the details in the description box if you want to screenshot it or be able to come back to it later and make it at home. And yeah, I hope you love it as much as I do, because it's seriously so good. There's a reason we eat it multiple times every week.